Assalamualaikum everyone, welcome to another video from UA code 127.0.0.1. Hope so students you are good, and today, as you know, I'm working on Try Hack Me walkthrough, and today I am going to cover a very interesting topic that is related to the network services. And guys, this topic consists of two parts, and today I'm try to cover the first part of this walkthrough. So let's start. Okay, here you see Kali Linux machine is open and my target machine is already running. You can see the detail of target machine, IP address, and then its time and the title. Today I'm going to cover FTP services, Telnet services, SMB services, and many more. So let's start. Get connected. Guys, you should connect to the Try Hack Me Open VPN server, and you can download the file configuration file, and then you should connect this. Okay, let's move to task 2, understanding SMB. What is SMB? SMB, server message blocks protocol, is a client server communication protocol used for sharing access to files, printers, serial ports, and other resources on a network. Okay guys, basically it's a protocol. It will used for sharing access to a files on a network. That resources are shared. That resources which are shared can be accessed by using this protocol. Server makes file systems and other resources, printers, named pipes, APIs available to the client on the network. Client computers may have their own hard disk, but they also want to access the standard shared systems. Okay, guys, in some situation, there is a need to share some resources on a network. And in order to access these resources, SMB protocol is used. Here in a picture, you can clearly see how actually it works. Here is a client computer and server. You can see that client actually make SMB request, and after fulfill this request, the server then send back SMB response to the client. Okay guys, as you see, once they have established a connection, clients can then send commands SMB to the server that allows them to access shares. Guys, in order to if a client want to access resources which are present on a server, that resources are shared, then the client should send an SMB request to the server in order to access that shared resources. Okay, then server get response back to the client after fulfill its request. What runs SMB? Microsoft Windows OS since Windows 95 have included client and SMB server protocol support. Okay, SMB on open source server that supports the SMB protocol was released for Unix system. What does SMB stand? Students, SMB is a shortcut from server's message blocks, so you should know the full form of this protocol. Put your answer here and then move to the next question. What type of protocol is SMB? Basically, it's a response request protocol. Client make request and then server make response in against that request. So it should response request protocol. What do clients connect to server using? Okay, here you should know about the protocol that client by using which client connect to the server, that is TCP/IP protocol. Okay, the next question is that what system does SMB run on? Guys, basically SMB runs on Unix OS operating system. Let's move to the next task. In task 3, we should enumerate SMB. Here is the start machine option. I'm already start this machine. Okay guys, what is enumeration? Enumeration is the process of gathering information on a target in order to find potential attacks, vectors, and add in exploitation. Point to be noted, basically in this method you have to gather information about your target machine to exploit it. Okay students, this process is essential for an attack to be successful, as wasting time with exploits that either don't work or can crash the system can a waste of energy. So in enumeration process, guys, you can find the username, the password, network information, host names, application data, services, or any other information that may be valuable for an attacker. In this process, the attacker gathered something like that information about the target machine. Okay. Port scanning. What is port scanning? The first steps of enumeration is to conduct a port scan. In this process, that is called enumeration, first of all you have to scan port. Okay, how you can scan port? In my last lecture, by using Nmap, I teach you how you can actually scan port. You can use different switches with Nmap, something like that. You can use -A switch if you want to perform an aggressive scan against your target machine. You can also use -P and hyphen. Actually, this switch will scan all ports. Okay, then enum for Linux. This is a tool used to enumerate SMB shares. You can use this tool for enumeration purpose, and you should install this tool in order to use this tool. And you can download this from GitHub. And here is some tags which are available for this tool. You can use -U switch with this tool to get user list, -M machine list, and N and the rest of switch you can use with this tool for enumeration purpose. Okay, guys, now move to the question. The question is that conduct an Nmap scan for your choosing how many ports are open. We are going to perform a simple Nmap scan in order to find how many ports are open of the target machine. Okay, here I type, first I'm going to open terminal. The terminal is open now. I typed here Nmap, and then I'm going to perform a simple scan. Then I typed -SV for version number, and then I should type -P and hyphen. Actually, I want to scan all port, and then I should use T5 to perform a fast scan, and then the target IP address, that is 10.10.63.177. 10.10.63.117, and hit enter. Now Nmap is performed scan against the target machine. Okay students, here you see that after perform a simple scan against the target machine, the scanning result Nmap is here. How many ports are open of this target machine? You can see that 22 port is open, 139 port open, and then 445 port is open. That is actually running NetBIOS services. So the answer of this question is 3. Okay, the next question is what ports is SMB running on? Now I have to find actually SMB service is running on which ports. So here you can see, if I see again, if I see my scan result, so you can see on port 139 and on port 445 the SMB service is running. So the answer of this question is 139 and by 445. These two ports actually are running the SMB services. Okay, and let's get started with enum for Linux. Now I'm going to use this tool, conduct a full basic enumeration by using this tool. For starters, what is the work group name? I have to actually find the work group name of a target machine. So let's start. First I'm going to clear my screen, and now I typed here enum for Linux. This tool will be used for enumeration. Then you can download this tool. As I told earlier, you can download this tool. Then I will use hyphen. If I typed here -help, then you can find all detail about this tool. Now guys, I should use -v switch. You can see that this will do all simple enumeration. It includes all these options. Okay, I typed here enum for Linux, and then -a switch, and then target IP address 10.10.26.226 and 222. That is IP address is 2, and hit enter. Now guys, you can see that this tool starts its enumeration against the target machine, and it takes some time in order to complete this procedure. So after perform all this enumeration, here you can see it takes some time and all processes, all enumeration process is going on. It perform password complexity and then retrieved partial password policies. Then you can see password information for domain. This is the actually domain name, and you can also see that shared enumeration on this target machine. You can see all these resources are shared on this target machine, that is profile, print, net logon, and here you can see the OS information of target machine. You can see that Polo SMB, this is actually domain, and the users of this against this target machine. It's try to enumerate the user of this target machine. And if I scroll up, guys, you can see the non-user names, that is administrator, guest, and then domain, admin, root, bin. All the non-user names are present here, enumerating work group domain on this. Here you guys, it's try to enumerate the work group and domain of target machine. Got domain work group name. Here you find the work group name, that is actually work group. So the answer of this question is work group. This is actually the domain name. Okay, the next question is that what comes up at the name of machine? I have to find the name of target machine. If I scroll down, guys, you can check here. The name of target machine is actually, if I scroll down, this is the OS information and non-users, and then shared OS detail, and then okay, found domain, that Polo SMB, and I think this is this should be okay, password for info for domain Polo SMB. This is the actually name for the target machine, so I should put answered here. And next move to the next question. What OS version is running? After using enum for Linux tool, I found a lot of information by using this tool. Now I have to find the version number of OS that that is running on target machine. If I scroll up, you guys see that here is the OS information. This is related to the OS information, and here you guys see the OS version is 6.1. You can see, so the answer should be 6.1. What share sticks out at something we might want to investigate? Okay, I have to point out which share is important for me in order to investigate, and then I could find more useful information after enumerate that share. So if I scroll up, guys, you can see that the shared resources of this target machine is okay. I think below I should check users, and then you guys see that all these are shared name, and from this I think profiles is the important. From this shared I could find the user profiles, so the answer of this question is profiles. Okay, next move to the task 4. After enumeration, now it's time to exploit SMB services. Okay guys, while there are vulnerabilities such as CV2017 to 7494 that can allow remote code execution by exploiting SMB, you are more likely to encounter a situation where the best way into a system is due to misconfiguration in the system. Guys, misconfiguration is a very dangerous drawback of any application. Okay, let's move. SMB client. Because we are trying to access an SMB share, we need a client to access resources on the server. Guys, here you can see, in order to access all these shared resources which are present here, I actually need a SMB client. Okay, if you need to install it, you can find the documentation here. Guys, if you want to install SMB client, you can see a detailed documentation here. You can read and then installed SMB client. The syntax of SMB client is this. You should use SMB client and then the target IP address and the share that I want to access. Okay, the tags which are used in SMB client are -u, it shows the name to specify the user, and -p, it will be used to specify the port. Okay, got it. Let's do it practically. Now if I type here, before moving to the terminal, guys, here is a question that I should answer. The question is that what would be the correct syntax to access an SMB share called secret? Actually, secret is a SMB share that I want to access as a suit user on a machine with the IP address of this. Okay, guys, how you can actually access this share? I should use SMB client and then / and then the target IP, that is this one, and then name of the share, and then -u, it will used for user, and then the name of the user, and -p, port number 445, as SMB is running on this port by default. So the answer of this question should be like that. Let's move. Okay, here is the question: does the share allow anonymous access? You can see that from here. Let's see if our interesting share had been configured to allow anonymous access. That is, it does not require authentication to view the file. There is no need of password in order to view the file of this share. So the answer of this question should be yes. We can anonymous access to this share. Now students, it's time to use SMB client. Here I should type SMB client, and then the syntax of SMB client should follow the IP address, that is 10.10.26.222, and then the share that I want to investigate, to enumerate, that is profile. And I want, after typing this, I want to hit enter, and then password for this is as it allow me anonymous login, so I hit enter. So guys, now you can see that I am in SMB. If I type here ls and hit enter, you can see all the content of SMB shares present here. Okay, now here you guys see that here is a directory present, that is working from home.txt. Actually this is important. It seems like that it is important, and I should move it to my on Kali Linux machine. So here, so students, in order to get this file in my Kali Linux machine, I should use SMB get command, SMB get, then SMB / IP address, the share, that is profile, and then I should type the concerned file, that is working from directory, working from. Okay students, I should use SMB get and then hit enter. Now here is an error occurred. Okay guys, I should type -r switch. Here I should type -r and then hit enter. It's showing against error if I typed here. Okay, here is an error that this command is not found. I'm trying to install this first. If I typed here apt get install SMB client and hit entered, then I typed yes, and it takes some time in installation. Here you can see. Okay, the installation process is complete successfully. Now I'm going to try to run SMB get command and hit entered. It still shows error. Okay students, let's change my command. If I use get and then I should copy this, copy and then paste inverted commas, and then file name that I want to copy, info.txt, and hit entered. Okay, getting file working from is successfully get. If I'm open a terminal and if I type here ls, Here you can see guys, the file is successful copied. Now if I type here cat info.txt, okay, the content of this file is present here, John Cactus. And the question is that the question was, have you look around of any interesting documents that could contain valuable information? Who can assume the profile folder belong to? So John Cactus, actually this is the user by which the folder profile folder is belong. Which service has been configured to allow him to work from home? Okay, which service he can actually use in order to work from home? SSH. Actually he can SSH. Here you can see that as such your account has now been enabled with SSH access. Here you can see SSH. So answer of this question is SSH. Okay, now we know this. What directory on the share would we look in? So let's move here. If I typed here ls, here you can see .ssh. If I typed here cd.ssh and hit enter, if I typed ls and hit enter, now guys you can see that here are private and public key, which is helpful for me. Okay, I'm going to get this file by using get command. I typed get and then id -rsa and then id.id underscore rsa and hit enter. Okay guys, you see that id.rsa successfully copied here. If I typed ls, you can see that id.rsa is present here. Now I'm also copy public key, that is id get inverted comma and then id rsa public, copy selection, paste here and then again paste and hit enter. So guys you can see if I typed ls and hit enter, now both keys are present here. If I typed cat id rsa and hit enter, now you can see private SSH key. If I type cat id rsa and the other keys cat id rsa dot pb and hit enter. Guys, here you can see the name of the user is Cactus. So I'm going to change the mode of private key by using chmod +x and then id.rsa and hit enter. Now I'm going to ssh and then -i id.rsa and the username CACTUS at the rate of IP address 10.10.26.222 and hit enter. Yes, and hit enter. Now guys you see, okay, here is an error occur, permission denied. I should again change the execution mode of private key chmod 600 id.rsa and hit enter. Now again I try to SSH and hit enter. Okay, you can see I'm successfully SSH to this user. If I type here ls, you can see that smb.txt is present here. So the share we should look in is .ssh. The next question is that the directory contains authentication keys that allows a user to authenticate themselves and then access a server. Which of these keys is most useful to us? Okay, the question is that as you see guys, that by using ID RSA key, that is private key, by using this key I am actually SSH to the user, so the answer is ID RSA. Download the file to your local machine and change the permission by 600 using, as you see guys, that I'm download the machine, download the key, and then I'm changing the file permission of this key by using chmod 600, and then I'm SSH to the target machine successfully. Now use the information you have already gathered to work out username for the account, then use the services key to log into the server. What is the SMB text flag? It's time to basically find out the flag. If I type here cat smb.txt, here you can see guys, the flag of this ROM is this. I should copy it and place here, as I already done. Okay, let's move to the next question, next task, that is task 5. In task 5 we are going to work on telnet. What is telnet? Telnet is an application protocol which allows you with the use of telnet client to connect to and execute command on remote machine that's hosting a telnet server. Basically guys, it is also an application protocol. It will use to connect and execute commands on remote machine that is hosting on a telnet server. Point to be noted, you have to execute commands on a remote machine, and that is hosting on a telnet server. The telnet client will establish a connection with the server. Here you can see the telnet client should establish a connection with the telnet server. The client will then become the virtual terminal allowing to interact with the remote host. Okay, how actually telnet work? The user connects to the server by using telnet protocol, which means entering telnet into a command prompt. In order to connect to the server, you should type this command. The user then execute command on the server by specific telnet command in telnet prompt. The syntax of telnet is this. You should type telnet, then IP address, and then port number. What is the telnet? Students, as you read here, telnet is an application protocol, so the answer is application protocol. What has slowly replaced telnet? So initially telnet is SSH, and then here you can see telnet sends all message in a clear text and has no specific security mechanism. Thus in many application and services, telnet has been replaced by SSH. How would you connect to a telnet with telnet server with the IP is this on port 23? The question is that how you can actually connect a telnet server by using this IP address, and the port is 22. This is the by default port of telnet. So guys, you should type here telnet command, telnet, and then the IP address, and here you should type the port number. The lack of word means that all telnet communication in a plain text. So guys, here you can see if all the communication in plain text, then what it means? It means that the communication is in encryption mode. Okay, let's move to the task 6. In this task, we are going to enumerate telnet. Okay, I should terminate my previous machine, and now I will work on this machine that is related to task 6. I am going to start this machine and perform telnet enumeration. The machine is going to start. It takes some time. Okay guys, as you read earlier that enumeration means collect information about the target machine. We have already seen how keys enumeration can be in exploiting a misconfiguration network services. Okay, if a network is misconfigured, how you actually enumerate that network. However, vulnerabilities that could be potentially trivial to exploit don't always jump out at us. Okay guys, in telnet enumeration, first of all we are going to perform port scanning by using the simple nmap scan. You can use different switches with nmap in order to get a detailed scan result. So a machine is going to start, and here it takes some time. I'm going to clear my screen first, and now I typed here nmap, and then I typed here -pn switch, and then I typed -a, and then I typed -p to scan all ports, and the target IP address is 10.10.10.0.135, 10.10.0.135, and here should be nmap and hit enter. Now guys, you see that nmap is going to start perform scan against the target machine. It will perform a detailed scan. As I type this switch, that is -p-me, it scans all ports. It takes time, be patient, you have to wait till that. Okay guys, here you can see the result of this scan. It shows that port number 8012 is open and the TCP is running on it, and if I scroll down here, nothing is present. Here you see no one other port is open. Okay, the question is that how many ports are open on the target machine? The only 8012 port is open, so the answer is 1. What port is this? The port number is 8012. This port is unassigned, but still it's the protocol it's using. What protocol is this? Here you can see guys that this port is using TCP protocol. Okay, now rerun the nmap scan without -p-tag. Now I should again perform a nmap scan without this switch, that is -p-. I should remove this switch and hit enter. Now here you can see that nmap perform scan, and after perform this scan, if you see here is the result of this scan. No port is open now when I remove -p- switch. So the answer of this question is how many ports shows up as unopened? 0. Okay, the next question is that based on the title written to us, what we think this port could be used for? Guys, this open port could be used for, here you can see that this port could be used for a backdoor. So the answer of this question is a backdoor. Who could it belong to? Gathering impossible. Username is an important step in enumeration. Actually, I have to find the username that is belong to this port. So the username, here you can see that skidys. This is the actually user who is belong to this port. Okay, let's move to the task 7. It's time to exploit the telnet services. Students, here you see types of telnet exploits. You can read these theory in order to clear your concept. Connecting to a telnet, how you can actually connect to the telnet command, then IP, and then port number. What is a reverse shell? So guys, here you can see a shell can be simply be described as a piece of code or a program that can be used to gain code or command execution on a device. This is the reverse shell. A reverse shell is a type of shell in which the target machine communicate back to the attacking machine. Basically, reverse shell actually create a tunnel between two machines, the target machine and the attacker machine. Okay, the attacking machine has a listing port on which it receives the connection, resulting in code or command execution command being achieved. The question is that granted it's an open telnet connection, what welcome message do we received? Okay, let's do it practically. Student, if I type here telnet and then IP address 10.10.0.136, the IP address is 135, and then I should specify the port number, that is 8012, and hit enter. So guys, here you can see it's trying to connect the telnet server, and the welcome message is this skid's backdoor. So the answer of this question is, that is say it's an important telnet connection. What welcome message? The welcome message is skidys and backdoor. Okay, let's try executing some commands. Do we get a written or any input we entered into the telnet session? Try to understand the question. Students, if I typed here ls and if I typed lsl dot l dot help. Okay, the answer of this question is no. We do not actually entered any session. Okay, let's move. Start a TCP dump listener on your local machine. If you are using your own machine with the OpenVPN connection, you should type this. But right now I should use this as I used Kali Linux machine of TryHackMe. I'm going to use TCP dumped. I will copy it from here and then copy and paste and hit enter. Now use the command ping local THMIP-C1 through the telnet session to see if we are able to execute system commands. Do we receive any ping? Note, you need to preface with this with run. I'm going to open another terminal. If I check my IP address, config IP, here you can see the IP address is 10.10.217.75. I should copy this, goes here, and by using ping command and then -C1, I think -C1. Okay, if I hit enter and now check here, I should type here dot run and then copy this and put it here and hit enter, and here you can see the result of this. So the answer of this question is yes. Okay, great. This means that we are able to execute commands and that we are able to reach our local machine by telnet. What word does the generate payload start with? Okay guys, here now we are going to generate a reverse shell payload using the MS Venom. This will generate and encode a netcat reverse shell. I am going to make a payload by using MS Venom. Okay, I copy this command, then I should paste it here. Before paste it, I want to know my IP address. If I type here ifconfig okay, now I paste here and then I give the IP address here, that is 10.10.217.75 and hit enter. Okay, here you see the payload is successfully created. The question is that what word does the generated payload starts with? So here you can see that payload is start by this word MKFIFO. So the answer is MKFIFO. Perfect, we are nearly there. Now all we need to do is start a netcat listener. Netcat listener on our local machine. We do this by using this syntax. Okay, I typed here nc-lnvp and then port number is 444 and hit enter. Meanwhile, okay, after activate the listener, then what should I do? Now that's running, we need to copy and paste our MS Venom payload into the telnet session. Okay guys, I should copy this payload, copy and put it here in telnet session and run it by using run command and hit enter. Okay students, here you can see that I am successfully connect and get a reverse shell. If I type here ls, you can see that flag.txt is present here. I type flag.txt and hit enter. You can see that I successfully find the second flag. I should copy this and paste it here. I'm already learned, guys. You can paste your answer here. Okay, now you are successfully exploit the telnet service as it. Let's move to the next task, that is task 8. In this task we are going to learn about FTP. Guys, basically FTP is a file transfer protocol, and name suggests a protocol used to allow remote transfer files. Basically, if you want to transfer your file from one location to another, then this protocol will be used. And actually how it is actually work, a command channel and a data channel, it's the working strategy. Okay, now guys, I should terminate this machine, and I will work on my other machine that is made for FTP. Okay, the question is that what communicates model does FTP use? Basically, it used client server model. It used client server model for communication. But the standard FTP, port is 21. You should remember it. The FTP port is 21. How many modes of FTP connections are there? There are 2 modes for FTP connection. Okay, let's move to the task 9. In this task we are going to enumerate the FTP services. Okay, let's start my machine. It takes some time to start. First of all, we will enumerate. As you know, students, in enumeration process you gathered information about target machine. Here you can see we will use Nmap for FTP enumeration. And the machine is start. The IP address of this machine is appeared, and so I'm going to start Nmap scanning 10.215.49 and hit enter. Now it will perform all port scan against the target machine. It takes some time. You should keep patient. Okay students, you can see that scan result of Nmap is present here. Here you can see that the port number 21 that is related to the FTP is open, and the service running, and the version number is this, and you can log in this by anonymous login is allowed. Okay, the question is that how many ports are open on the target machine. Here you can see that port 21 is open, and the other port, that is the second port, that is 443 is also open. So the answer is 2. What port is FTP is running on? On port 21 the FTP is running on, and what variant of FTP is running on? The variant number of FTP is this. You can see that VSFTPD is running on this target machine. Great, now we know what type of FTP server we are dealing with, and we can check to see if we are able to log in anonymously to the FTP server. We can do it by using type FTP and IP address. If I type here FTP and then IP address 10.10.215.49 and hit enter, anonymous, and hit enter and hit enter. So I'm successfully logging into the FTP, and here you guys can see here is a directory present, that is public.notice.txt. So the question is that what is the name of the file in the anonymous FTP directory? The file name is public_notice.txt. What do we think a possible username could be? Okay,